and the context of this precise time. On the merits, a candidate who can contrast with Senator Boxer's record in the Congress has a tremendous advantage.
I'm sorry, say that again. I missed that. A candidate who can what?
Contrast with Senator Boxer's record in the Congress has a tremendous advantage. And I'm just wondering, Dean, if I should address this little thing in front of me or the big thing that looks like a space invader.
That's
okay. So can you hear me better now, Dina?
A little bit, yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Senator Boxer was for 10 years Congresswoman Boxer, and we were in the House together. I have a record of those years, and it contrasts very clearly and very favorably with her. No other Republican candidate can do that. They can speak about what they would like to do. They cannot speak about what they have done in a direct contrast with Senator Boxer. The clearest, and it's one that I will continue to use, but it is one of many contrasts, is the ratings. Also, if it's relevant, and I believe it is, her position when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, particularly her suggestion that we have a pause for peace in the middle of that war. But on the ratings, it's a huge issue to me how much spending without having the revenue, in other words, the budget deficit, adds to unemployment. It is a direct connection. Employers will not hire people until they know that their future is not going to be jeopardized by inflation or higher interest rates, both of which come about from printing money. Either you have the inflation from the printed money, a 32% increase in the money supply over the last year and a half, or you have higher interest rates as the Fed tries to prevent that from happening. So if you add it to the deficit, you are responsible for the slow growth in employment. Senator Barbara Boxer and Congresswoman Barbara Boxer has a record that is awful. And I was there in the House and have a record that is excellent. And so the National Taxpayers Union Foundation is the clearest. I was in Congress for 5 terms. 100 seconds, I was number 1, single most fiscally responsible member, according to the National Taxpayers Union Foundation, and she was 412. That's my campaign ad. Who spends your money? Who increases the size of government? They were there together. They had the same bills. You don't have to take me at my word. You've got my record. The other time, the other Congress when I was number 1 was the 106th. She had gone on to the Senate, and she was 95 out of 100.
In which rating was this?
Same, the National Taxpayers Union Foundation, which is a scorecard of a very simple method. Add up the cost, or in my case, the savings, of all the bills you introduce and co-sponsor. So I said substance as well as process, but on the substance, just kind of focusing on that, then I'll move to the process. A contrasting record with Congresswoman Barbara Boxer and Senator Boxer on the issue of spending your money couldn't be more powerful. That is what people are focusing on.
These were bills introduced by each of you and voted on by each of you.
And co-sponsored.
And co-sponsored.
And co-sponsored. That is the National Taxpayers Union Foundation ratings, and it's available, and we'll certainly get you their documentation if you'd like. But the phrase...
Those aren't your votes in Congress, right? Those were your particular measures.
Correct. The votes in Congress were another scorecard. I'm happy to have you look at those as well. National Taxpayers Union rates votes in Congress, and there, this is from memory, so I'm not going to get it precisely right, but the 5 years where there were letter grades given both to me and to Barbara Boxer, I had, and again, pardon me for not having it perfectly right, but something along the lines of A minus, B, A. That's not 5. There was only 1 B, so I think all the rest were A's or A minuses. She was F, 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 F. So I'll take either contrast, or give me Concord Coalition, or Citizens Against Government Waste. Any neutral, fiscally responsible rating, it's not just I'm better than she, I'm hugely better than she, in not wasting your money in smaller government, in more individual freedom as we constrain the size of government. So that is something neither of my Republican opponents can touch or offer as a contrast. Secondly, on the process issue, Senator Barbara Boxer has successfully moved the debate to the social issues whenever she's had a Republican opponent, starting with Bruce Urshenson. And you all remember Anita Hill. I mean, that was the issue in the '92 campaign. And again with Bill Jones, and again with Matt Fawn. She cannot do that. The fundamental difference is on economics. Undoubtedly, she and the Democratic National Committee will attempt to portray me as to the conservative side, and hopefully they will be honest about it, but that's too much to hope. But on the issues of individual choice, a woman's right to choose, for example, one of the most salient issues in all of Barbara Boxer's campaigns, I am pro-choice. And she cannot move the debate to that, whereas both of my Republican colleagues are not, and she will move the debate to that. The way to beat Senator Barbara Boxer is to keep her focused on the economy, to keep her focused on her role in what we now have as 12.6% unemployment.
Just following up